And ladies and gentlemen, continuing with our budget conversations, we now have Anant Goenka, the Vice Chairman, RPG Group, and Senior Vice President, FICCI, joining us. Thank you very much, Mr. Goenka, for taking the time out and speaking with ET. Now, let me first ask you about the big consumption boost, which was one of the key demands from across sectors, given that we've seen a consumption slowdown, particularly in urban areas. Now, with the kind of measures that have been announced with respect to the global economy, the tax benefits that have come in, were you anticipating these measures or measures along similar lines, and what is the kind of scale of consumption boost are you expecting from today's announcements?
We did hope for a move like this. Certainly we didn't expect such a big bang move, and that's taken on, I'd say, very positively by industry. With this kind of money going into the hands of the middle class, we think consumption will certainly be much, which will spur more private investment. And I think FM has delivered very well in terms of what the needs of the industry are.
All right. So, Mr. Goenka, let me now ask you about the infrastructure push, because that has been another key feature of this government. They want to improve infrastructure because that is going to have a multiplier effect on the overall economy. So what are you making of the infrastructure and capex push that has been given, although it has moderated a bit as compared to last year? Were you expecting that?
Yes, so against a 11.11 plan for this year, the government has been about 8-9% short, 11.11 lakh crores. The coming year they have planned 11.2 lakh crores, so largely maintained it in terms of the plan. But it's about an 8-9% increase this year, the coming year versus the current year. To me, I think that is very positive. But there are also a number of other areas relating to infrastructure in, for example, the Udan scheme, which is coming in terms of making more airports, encouraging regional transportation. All of that will also help bring down the cost of logistics in the country. So there's also focus on areas such as nuclear energy, solar energy, renewable. With all of that, that will all help in improving infrastructure of the country, and is a positive move. We are still doing a very large share of infrastructure as a percentage of spend in GDP.
All right. One final question to you, Mr. Goenka, before we let you go, and that one is on the issue of jobs. Of course, there are certain initiatives that have been announced with respect to job creation in this budget, including humongous fund for AI. Do you think the announcements that have been made today, whether it's related to giving an agri boost, whether it's giving about giving a capex boost, what do you think the kind of impact that these will have on job creation? And of course, your thoughts on the Chief Economic Advisor's statement that corporate profits have increased 4x, but wages and salaries of private sector employees haven't really picked up. So that's a big issue that the private sector now really needs to look at.
I think the government or FM does address the job issue, as Harsh mentioned, by focusing on MSMEs, focusing on tier 2 GCCs, focus on job intensive sectors such as footwear or leather sectors, toy sector. So there is a fair amount of focus on job creation. To me, I'd say the job wage increase, at least what we have seen amongst our peers, has been quite consistent. About 8 to 9% kind of increase in terms of increments or shifts in salaries that we have seen over time. So, and I'm fairly confident that that will continue also in the long term.
All right, so we're fairly confident of the growth story of the country, and of course you're expecting that consumption boost to come in, and we'll have to see the kind of an impact that will really have on the overall GDP growth and of course on job creation as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Goenka, for joining us here on ET Now.